What's up guys, my name is Ryan and I spent the last several years traveling across the continent of Africa, and I want to share with you my favorite places and experiences. So here's my Africa Top 10. There's no place on earth that will make you feel more alive than Africa. From witnessing the Great Migration in the Serengeti to the unique cultures of Ethiopia, Africa is waiting to be experienced. Let's start this video off in Namibia. Of all the African countries, I think Namibia is one of the easiest to travel and the perfect intro to the continent. It's one of Africa's safest countries, and its roads and infrastructure are rated the best in Africa. Now, to travel to Namibia, we flew into the capital city of Windhoek, and then we rented a 4x4 truck and started our Namibia road trip. One of the most famous places in Namibia is Dedvli. It's this clay pan with dried tree skeletons that are believed to have died 700 years ago. There used to be a river in the area, but it dried up and the trees eventually died. And since the area is so dry, the trees have decomposed and remained frozen in time. I mean, it was just so surreal to walk amongst these ancient trees. Another one of the most iconic places in Namibia is Sandwich Harbor. It's where the Namib Desert meets the Atlantic Ocean. To get here, you basically need to go with an experienced driver since you're navigating through deep sand the whole time. I mean, it was a little nerve-wracking driving on the dunes, but it was such an adrenaline rush. Now, my favorite thing that we did in Namibia was witnessing the desert elephants. There's only a few desert elephants in Namibia, and they have adapted to live in the harsh conditions of the desert. To see them, we went deep into the remote region of Damaraland, and after an hour of tracking, our guide found a herd of 14 elephants. We spent the next few hours just observing them, and it was one of my favorite wildlife experiences I've ever had. Namibia's landscapes and wildlife are truly on another level. After, we're going to head to the neighboring country of Botswana to experience the Okavango Delta. Located in the northern part of the country, the Okavango Delta is this massive seasonal swamp that can be seen from space. The area gets flooded and reaches its peak water levels during the summer months. Due to the influx of water, animals come from all over, and it creates for one of Africa's greatest wildlife concentrations. From elephants wandering through chest-deep water to red lake-choy antelope running through the swamps, it's just incredible how much wildlife exists in the Okavango Delta. One of the best ways to experience it is by taking a boat and wandering through the endless canals and lagoons, marveling at all the wildlife. After, we're going to head to the famous Victoria Falls. Located on the border between Zambia and Zimbabwe, Victoria is one of the longest waterfalls in the world with a length of 1,708 meters. The Zambezi River is what powers the waterfall, and one thing that I think that's unique about it is how it plunges into this narrow gorge. It's something unique I've never seen in any other waterfalls. There's this one place on the falls called Devil's Pool where you can sit in the water right in the edge of the waterfall. It looks like you're going to fall in, but thankfully the current isn't that strong. After, let's head to South Africa to visit Cape Town. If you love ocean and mountainous landscapes, you're in luck because Cape Town has both. Located at almost the very bottom of the continent, Cape Town is an incredible coastal city. One of my favorite features of Cape Town is Lion's Head. It's this wizard hat shaped peak that you can hike to the very top of. One of the best beaches in Cape Town is Camps Bay. The water may be a little bit chilly here, but it offers spectacular scenery all around. While we're still in South Africa, we're going to visit Drakensberg. It's a set of mountains on the South African Lesotho border, and it's home to some spectacular scenery. One of the craziest places is Tugela Falls. With a height around 1,000 meters, it's the second tallest waterfall in the world. The area that it's located in is called the amphitheater, and it's just this massive bowl of cliffs that descend down into the gorge below. After, we're going to visit the island of Madagascar. Located off the shores of Eastern Africa, Madagascar is the second largest island country in the world. One thing unique about Madagascar is that 90% of its plants and animal species are found nowhere else on Earth. One of the most famous places in Madagascar is the Baobab Avenue. It's this dirt street lined with grandidier's baobab trees that are over 30 meters tall and almost 3,000 years old. Aside from the baobab trees, Madagascar has some amazing places. The highlands of Madagascar are particularly fascinating to me. The Anja Community Reserve is this area where there's these huge granite mountains with beautiful agriculture fields below. Andringitra National Park is also another stunning place with more beautiful granite mountains. If you love the coast, Madagascar has some amazing beaches and islands. One of the most famous is Nosy Iranja. It's located on the northwest tip of the island, and it has this sandbar that leads to a smaller island when the tide is low. Another one of my favorite islands in Africa is the Seychelles. Located in the Indian Ocean off of East Africa, the Seychelles are an archipelago made up of 115 islands, and it's home to some of the world's most famous beaches. Now, when you find the Seychelles, you'll probably come to the island of Mahi. It's the biggest island in the archipelago and also home to Victoria, which is the island's capital. Now, there's a lot to do and see on Mahi, and it's also a great place to venture off to the other islands. One of the most famous places in all the Seychelles is the beach called Anse Source d'Argent. It's located on the island of La Digue, which you can reach by taking a ferry from the neighboring islands. It's often rated as one of the world's most beautiful beaches, and I totally understand why. It has these massive granite boulders that create an otherworldly landscape. After, we're going to visit Morocco. Located in northern Africa, Morocco was one of the most diverse and historical countries. It's home to snow-capped mountains, a mesmerizing coastline, and also the Sahara Desert. One of my favorite places is Ayet Ben Haddou. It's a historic clay brick village that dates back to the 11th century. It's been a popular filming site for movies and TV shows such as Game of Thrones. Another impressive place in Morocco is the Atlas Mountains. I mean, you wouldn't expect to find much snow in Morocco, but the Atlas Mountains are an exception. The highest peak is Toubkal with an elevation of 4,167 meters. Now, when it comes to Morocco cities, Casablanca is the largest. My favorite feature of the city is the Hassan II Mosque. It was built in 1993 and its minaret stands 210 meters tall. Now, as for Morocco's beaches, one of the most unique ones is Lexira Beach. It's located in southern Morocco on the Atlantic Ocean. It has red rock and this very peculiar arch, and there's just so much to see in this incredible country. After, let's head to my favorite country in Africa, Tanzania. I've been to Tanzania several times now, and I've had some of the most memorable experiences of my life here. From witnessing herds of millions of wildebeest roaming the savannah to Africa's highest mountain, Tanzania is one of the world's greatest wonders. One of the most iconic places in Tanzania is the Serengeti. It's one of the best places on earth to see Africa's wildlife. From leopards chilling in trees to cheetahs roaming the savannah, the Serengeti is the Lion King in real life. When we were there, we went on game drives every day. We were able to witness so many incredible moments, whether it was witnessing a pride of lions relaxing on a kopi or watching the endless herds of wildebeest. The most memorable moment was when we escaped a massive thunderstorm and we were able to watch these zebras grazing, accompanied by massive thunderbolts and the craziest sunset I've ever seen in my life. Now, besides the Serengeti, my other favorite place in Tanzania is Oldonyo Lengai. It's located near Lake Natron, and it's an active volcano with a height just under 3,000 meters, and it's known by the local tribes as the Mountain God. And after scaling it, I totally understand why it has that name. So we decided we wanted to climb the volcano, so we started at midnight, and I honestly didn't know what I was getting myself into, but it ended up being the hardest hike of my life. But right around 6 a.m., we made it to the top, and the sun started to climb over the horizon, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. I was standing on the volcano's rim, and the crater was absolutely huge. It had this black bubbling lava inside, and it's said to be some of the coldest lava in the world. As I walked to the other side, I got one of my all-time favorite shots as I was standing on the volcano's rim overlooking the scenery below. It reminded me of the quote in Lion King where Mufasa says to Simba, "Everything the light touches is our kingdom." It was one of the most powerful views I've ever seen in my life. Our guide Elijah recommended that we headed back after spending about 2 hours on the top to avoid the midday sun. The trek was beautiful on the way down. When we reached our car, it was about noon, so it took us 12 hours in total. Even though it was one of the hardest physical challenges I've ever done, it was hands down one of my all-time favorite travel experiences. After, we're going to head over to Kenya to visit Amboseli National Park. It's located right across the border in Kenya, and I think it has one of the best views in the world, not only because it has a great view of Mount Kilimanjaro, but it's often coupled with animals such as elephants roaming free throughout the park. Another one of the most famous places in Kenya is the Masai Mara. Located in western Kenya, the Masai Mara actually connects to the Serengeti, so the landscapes and wildlife are very similar. Like the Serengeti, the Masai Mara does have the wildebeest migration. It's a great place to witness the river crossings of the wildebeest and zebras as they cross the Mara River, braving the strong currents and deadly Nile crocodiles. For our final place, we're going to visit the incredible country of Ethiopia. Located in eastern Africa, Ethiopia is one of the most fascinating countries on earth. It's the most populous landlocked country in the world, and it's one of only 2 African countries that wasn't colonized by Europe, so much of its culture, language, and food are extremely unique. From the mountain churches of Gibraltar to the unique tribes of the Omo Valley, Ethiopia has so much to offer. One of the most extreme places in Ethiopia is the Danakil Depression. Located in the northeastern tip of Ethiopia, the Danakil Depression is one of the hottest places on Earth, with temperatures reaching over 130 degrees during the summer months. One of the most iconic places here is the Erta volcano. This place is next level. It's the most active volcano in Ethiopia, and its appearance is constantly changing due to lava flow. When I got to the crater's rim, I just couldn't believe it. It was this massive bowl full of black hardened lava, and it's just hard to comprehend the scale of this place. We decided to walk out on the volcano, but I was a little nervous because just a few weeks prior, the volcano had erupted, and all the black rock that you see was molten lava. Our guide led the way and was checking to make sure that the hardened lava was stable. Not too long ago, there was this lava lake here, but it must have filled up because it was completely gone. I was also a little scared because you could feel the heat from the volcano underneath, and maybe there was molten lava flowing beneath us. Regardless, we kept walking up to one of the main volcanoes where you could see some lava. It was hard to get close to it due to the volcanic gases. Now we stayed up there until nighttime, and then the next morning we hiked up for sunrise, and it was one of the most epic settings with the sun rising through the volcanic steam. My buddy Alice brought his Inspire 3 drone into Ethiopia, and we used it this trip to get some of the most insane 8K footage. Afterwards, we headed to one of the most toxic and inhospitable places on Earth, Dolo. It's located at an elevation of negative 130 meters, and it was the place I want to visit most in the Danakil Depression. To get there, we made this short but tiring hike due to the heat. After about 20 minutes of walking, we made it to the famous sulfur springs. This water is beautiful, but it's extremely dangerous. If you fall in, the sulfuric acid can literally melt your skin off. Aside from the dangerous place, I just couldn't believe the scenery. The sulfuric pools had this rainbow of yellow, white, red, and orange colors. It just looked so amazing, especially from the drone's view. There was some volcanic vents shooting out steam, just some other insane geological features. We could only be here for an hour due to the extreme heat, and we had to head back down. Just a 15 minutes drive from Dolo is the Danakil Salt Lake. We went here and we were able to film these camels as they walked along the shores of the lake for sunrise and sunset. The local Afar people will harvest the salt, and then they walk several days to sell it in other regions of Ethiopia. We got some of the most insane footage of the camels walking. There was almost a perfect reflection of them, and the backdrop of the sun was amazing. Another one of my favorite places in Ethiopia is the mountain churches of Gibraltar. Located in the TK region, we drove about 7 hours from the Danakil Depression to get here, and due to the high elevation, the temperature was much cooler, which was a nice change. The area is famous for its monks and churches built into the mountains. One of the most famous churches here is Abuna Yamata. Also known as the Church in the Sky, Abuna Yamata is one of the most incredible and inaccessible churches in the world. It's built in an elevation of 2,580 meters into the side of a cliff. Now to get there, the hike honestly wasn't too bad. It took about 45 minutes, but the difficult part is this area where you have to rock climb. You take your shoes off and the guides help you. Honestly, it wasn't too bad. When we got to the top, the monk was waiting for us. He walked the narrow path with a dangerous cliff on one side, with no rope or anything else to hold on to. After the cliff walk, you enter the famous Abuna Yamata Church. According to legend, it was founded in the 6th century AD. I was blown away by this place. The fact that it was carved straight out of the mountain is just crazy to me. The ceiling, the walls also had these beautiful paintings of the 12 apostles and the 9 saints, and it's believed that these paintings date back at least 500 years. It was just cool to watch the monk read the Bible inside. After, we had to get some drone shots of the church, and we just got some of the most amazing footage of the monks and the mountain. It was such a memorable time filming this incredible place in Ethiopia. Another one of the most famous places in Ethiopia is the Omo Valley. Located in southern Ethiopia near the border of Kenya and South Sudan, the Omo Valley is one of the most famous places in Ethiopia, mainly for its diversity of local tribes. There's so many tribes here with very unique cultures and traditions. We visited several of them, but my favorite were the Stick Boys. Part of the Bana tribe, the Stick Boys are these young kids and teenagers who use stilts to help them see the cattle above the long grass, and also it protects them from snakes. I remember when I first saw these guys just standing in the middle of the street, I couldn't believe it. Their sticks are huge, and it makes these kids over 10 feet tall. They had so much energy and were just absolute homies. They even let us try the sticks, and it's way harder than it looks. Now we told them we wanted to film them for sunset, so we went to this different spot, and we got some of the most epic shots of them just walking along the road. These kids were so happy, and it was a perfect way to end our time in Ethiopia. Well, that is it for my Africa Top 10. There's no place that will make you feel alive quite like traveling to Africa, and I hope you can all experience it someday. I plan on traveling here the rest of my life, so more videos are coming soon. Let me know where your favorite place is in Africa in the comments below. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at shirley.films. It's Ryan, and we will see you later.